Hey guys, how we doing? It's Chris here. Just wanted to bring you guys a quick video today. I'm gonna give you an update on the Gouldians real quick. Have had some breeding activity going on. I've had some chicks hatch in one of my nest boxes. I have two other nest boxes that have fertile eggs in there that the parents are sitting on right now. This yellow hen right here, she's been sitting in that big nest box that you can see back there. I have this yellow male. He's got 4 chicks that he's feeding in that very bottom low nest, and the hen's in there. And I don't think I got any yellows. Most of the babies look like they're either going to be normal or split. I'm trying to think of the word. I just had a brain freeze. It'll come to me in a minute. It's been a long day. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update, show you a little bit on the Gouldians. Got some in here sitting. Maybe show you some of the things that I'm going to do to winterize my birds a little bit. Because since I am breeding the Gouldians right now, and now they're all coming out, and my chicks, I do have chicks hatching. You can see one of my hens coming out there. She's and it's getting colder, especially at night. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm going to do to make sure my shed's warm enough, so if and when the Gouldians stop sitting on their chicks, because usually after about a week or so, they won't sleep in the nest at night. And I need to make sure it's warm enough in here so that my chicks don't freeze and die. So just kind of show you a few things that I'm going to do on that, how I'm going to winterize them and that sort of thing. So I do have birds in all of these nests right now. So on the very far right, my cutthroats have laid some eggs and are in there. I haven't checked to see if they're fertile or not. They have been building a nest. And then on the top, that middle nest box right there, I have a pair of Gouldians that are in there that have just started to lay. And then I have in this box, I have my other set of Gouldians in there. My hens, she went back in there, so she's in there. They're sitting on 5 eggs, and 4 of the 5 are fertile. And they're about a week along. And then in this big nest box, it kind of turned out, I think it was kind of more of a communal nest box, because when I looked at it about, 2 days ago is when I checked all my nest boxes, there was like a good 15 eggs in there, a really big nest. They did kind of section off the corner of the nest box, because this is a big cockatiel nest box. I have it for my red rumps, but they're not breeding right now with it getting cold. They're flying in and out there. So I candled all the eggs. A lot of them had at one point looked like they were fertile, and then I think just because so many eggs happened and a couple Gouldians went in to try and lay, a lot of those eggs didn't. And so finally I do have a pair that has laid in there and are sitting, and there was about 6 fertile eggs in there. So I took out all of the infertile eggs and just left the 6 fertile eggs in there for them to sit on, and hopefully they'll hatch it out. I wouldn't suggest using a big nest box like this, just because it is so big. It's easier for the eggs to scatter around. Lots of times you'll get multiple birds that try and nest in there. It's just not the best. I haven't taken it down because I have had some lay some eggs in there that were fertile and they're sitting on them, so I don't want to disturb it. But so that's where we're at now. I do know which pairs are in which ones. I still do have some young Gouldians out here that they want to breed, but they haven't paired off, because all of my original pairs have already paired off and they're breeding, and so I don't really have to worry about that. But I think what I'm going to do is all of my young ones, I'm going to catch them. They're all sitting out there, and I'm going to put them in my other aviary. One thing I have seen with kind of the community breeding is my nest boxes are pretty close together, and the Gouldians seem to bicker quite a bit. I think because the nest boxes are so close, the males will kind of chase the other males off. If they're lots, you know, they'll come and they'll sit on the little perches there on their nest box. And sometimes I think the males are just too close to each other, so they're continuously chasing each other off. So I think one thing I'm going to try and do this week is I'm going to try and build some privacy blinders or dividers. And we're just going to put some wood in between each nest box. So when they're sitting on that perch, all they can see is the wood on both sides, and they won't be able to see the other birds. So I think that might encourage a little bit more privacy. They won't be feeling threatened and having to chase everyone off all the time. And so we'll jump in here real quick. We'll let you see these little babies. We'll see if the hen will jump off. She's a great mom, and I always have to kind of scoot her off the nest lots of times for her to get out. And to me, that's a good sign. That's a sign of a bird that she's ready to breed. She wants to breed. You know, I do have a couple of my younger Gouldians that are sitting. When I walk in, lots of times they'll jump out when they hear me come in. So I try and make my visits in the birdhouse pretty brief, so that they feel comfortable enough to hurry, come back in, sit on their eggs, and keep them warm. Because it is getting colder, I do worry about that. And so that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. You know, in the summertime, I wouldn't worry too much, just because it's hot enough that it takes a little while for those eggs to really cool off. So we're gonna come in here. We'll let you guys take a look at some of the birds out there soaking up the sun. A little bit hard to see with the sun kind of in the angle that it's at, but maybe that's a little bit better view for you. So we're gonna take this nest box down right here, and you'll probably see her pop her head out. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, see her head in there? She's a really good mom. So this nest box has the hen. She's red head, purple breast, and my male is red head, white breast. There she goes. Sorry, she's a red head, white breast. Let's see, get that to focus for you guys. There you go. Sun went behind a cloud real quick, so we'll let you see out there. Great bird. So that's the two pairs. That's the pair. That's my male. That's my female. They've paired up, and so let's look in here and look at these little babies. There we go. There. Focused in for you. Oh, now it goes out of zoom. Come on, bird. Come on, camera. Yeah, buddy. I will, bud. I'm still doing my video. Sorry, guys. Kids are wanting a treat. There we go. There's a good video, or a good picture there. So we got 4 babies. Those other 2 eggs aren't fertile. I usually leave the eggs in there until the chicks get big enough. I don't worry about them getting squished or anything like that. And so probably in the next few days I'll take them out. So these chicks are about 4 to 5 days old. So hoping to get some good colors out of them. Really excited for that. Parents are doing great, keeping them fed. You can see their crops are nice and full. We'll throw that back up there. Sorry, there we go. Throw that up there like that. So yeah, so the birds are really good. So I think one thing that I'm gonna do, because it's becoming winter and the nights are getting colder. I mean, right now I think we have a high of like 63 degrees, I think is our high. So it's not, and this weekend we kind of had a little cool front come through, and so I've done 2 things. One year I put plastic all around my entire aviary, and then I left this part open, this window part, so they could fly in and out, and heated my shed, and that did pretty good. And then one year I blocked off my aviary completely, and I closed my window off so the birds couldn't fly out into the aviary, and then I put plastic all around this way, and then heated up my aviary, or my shed. So I think this year what I'm going to do, I still want my birds to be able to access the aviary, especially with my red rumps. My red rumps tend to get a little bit nervous and flighty when I'm inside the cage. And I just worry that if I were to trap my birds off so they're inside and they couldn't go out into the aviary, and I come in to feed them, they're just big enough that they thrash around too much and would injure or stir up all my other breeding birds and stuff like that. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my aviary open, and I'm not going to cover it with plastic. One of the reasons why I'm not going to cover it with plastic is I really want the rain and the snow for this winter season to clean the bottom of my aviary. And I'll bring in my button quail. I'll bring them inside, let them come on the floor on the inside so they don't get cold. So I'm going to leave that open. And then my sides here, I'm going to put plastic all along my sides of this window, and then I'm going to cover. So I have from here to here is open. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover 3/4 of it with plastic and leave a little open window so the birds can come in and out. But then that way I can kind of cover up most of my outside area, and then I'll be able to heat my inside with a heater and keep it warm enough inside my shed, but then also let the birds go outside if they want. Like my red rumps last year, they slept outside every single night. Didn't matter if it was -5 degrees that night or if it was 32 degrees. And they did just fine. They don't mind that cold weather. But my Gouldians or my little turquoisine parrots down there, I think that'd be a little too cold for them, and they wouldn't want to do that. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to try that, kind of enclose this window part just enough to block out all the cold and the wind, but leave a little open space so the birds could fly in and out if they want. But it'll be enclosed enough so I'll be able to heat my shed, and it'll be able to stay warm enough to keep all my breeding birds warm, and I don't have to worry about my babies. And so, hold on one sec, buddy. So that's, I think, what we're gonna do, and I'll make a video on that on when I do it. It'll probably be this week. I need to go get some plastic from Home Depot. So it'll be this week that I'll do that, and I'll kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, give you a good update on that. And so just real quick before I end the video, I don't have any out here right now because they've eaten it all. I've had quite a few people ask me what I put in my egg food. My egg food is really simple. Hard-boiled egg. I usually do some carrots, some romaine lettuce. Every once in a while I'll throw in some spinach. Every once in a while I'll throw in some celery leaves. I usually will throw in like a couple pieces of broccoli. Okay, go buddy. I'll come in. I'll throw in a couple pieces of broccoli. And then I have a dry egg food mix, and I mix all of that together and I blend it up in a little blender. So I chop it into pretty small pieces, all of it mixed together. The birds love it, and I'll give them a bunch here in the morning. I don't give them too much. As you can see, we're in the afternoon and it's all gone. I don't want to give them too much that it sits out here and spoils, but I gave them just enough so that they can eat it all, they can feed their babies. And since I have little chicks in the nest, I'll top it off again today so that they can feed those babies, keep them nice and full. So that's a basic egg food mix that I'll throw in. And then every once in a while I'll put some fruit out, maybe an apple, a banana, corn on the cob. My red rumps and my canaries, they love corn on the cob. If you guys have birds that don't eat that stuff, sometimes it's hard to train them to eat. It's a beautiful male right there. He's one of my favorites. He's a baby from last year, just gorgeous. Sometimes it is hard to train your birds to eat it. So sometimes I'll do like a 2 to 3 week trial. Well, I'll put that food out every day so they're used to it. And sometimes they'll start pecking at it and they'll see that it's good food and then they'll eat it. Other times I'll try and mix it with maybe like a treat that they do, like some millet spray or some seed that's their favorite. I'll try and mix that new food in with that so they kind of are more tempted to eat it. But just some ideas, some tips for you guys to use, especially on Gouldian finches, trying to get them to eat new foods. They're pretty picky and don't try new things very often. So hopefully that'll help you guys. Appreciate you watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.